upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Brian Fulford. A.D. Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time.
Battle to see which two teams would face off in the final SIAC game of the year. We have Benedict College, who comes in undefeated. We have Tuskegee, who comes in with an 8-2 record. Our first team that will come to the podium and to our seats will be the Tuskegee University Golden Tigers. Coach Reginald Ruffin, along with players Torian Taylor and Dante Edwards. We have Torian Taylor, wave your hand, and Dante Edwards. And Coach Reginald Ruffin. Coach Ruffin, first things first, you started off 0-2. You finish up with 8 straight wins. How did you change the recipe?
Good morning. First off, let me thank everyone, City of Columbia.
Hold on one second, Coach. I'm going to get you. Push your button. There you go. There you go.
Good morning. I'm sorry. Let me first off thank everyone, City of Columbia, South Carolina, Benedict College, and our commissioner, his staff. It's an honor. We are honored to be here. And by that question he asked, let me say this, I'm always about the hand that you're dealt, you have to play that hand. We had about 16 guys ruled ineligible prior to our first game against Fort Valley State for NCAA issue. Unfortunately, those guys did not get corrected until we got ready to play our third football game. And so everybody asks how we run off 8 straight wins, and when you don't have the players you need the first 2 games, sometimes things happen. But we didn't make any excuses. We just had to buckle down, and hopefully the NCAA could clear a lot of those guys, and they cleared majority of those guys, and we were able to get those guys back. The West Alabama game, and we have been on a roll ever since. So I just think guys buying in. We didn't have a very great spring. We only had 6 days of spring. We ran out of time because of weather. Also, our field was not ready. We have upgraded our stadium, our field. So they tore up the field in July, August, September, October. We didn't have a field, a regulated game field. We used a 65-yard practice field, and we were blessed by Auburn University, that partnership for us to be able to use Auburn University facility to have a scrimmage and get our guys used to an NCAA regulated football field. So I felt like we didn't have a spring when we started camp. We were in spring ball for those few weeks. And then I felt like once we got through camp, got ready for our first game against Fort Valley, I felt like we was in fall camp. And then once we finished the Hampton game, I told the coaches, I think we are finally ready to play a football season, and it's just worked out that way.
Thank you, Coach. Can you pass it over to Torian? Torian, you have a new coach, a coach that you're familiar with because you did battles with him while he was at Miles. What makes this year special, and what makes him special as a coach?
The first thing that makes Coach Ruffin special is that he's a man of God, and we pride ourselves on putting God at the head of everything that we do. So he brought that energy, and we just took it and rolled with it.
All right, pass it over to Dante. Dante, why come back and play another year, and why play for this coach in Reginald Ruffin?
I feel like it's a family. Everything we do, like, we got bondage on and off the field. Like, he impact everybody's life. Like, everybody he interact with, he's just straight and forward. He be about his business, you know. Like he said, like Torian said, he a man of God. So, you know, that relationship really, like, brought us together.
All right, give it back over to Coach. Coach, let's talk about this matchup. You've faced a lot of teams that come in with a lot of accolades, but I don't know if you've gone up against a team that's been unblemished the entire season. What can you say about Benedict?
Well, let me first say, man, the athletic director, Coach Washington, are real best of friends. And for him to hire a guy such as Chennis Berry, I got my tail whooped by Chennis last year at Miles College, so let's not let that go unnoticed. First guy in the conference, first head coaching job in this conference, and he beats me. And but when they hired him, they hired a guy that from the SWAC, SIAC, he was all that and above. And I knew that he was going to do a lot because he took a team that wasn't very successful and turned them into a 500 team without even having all his coaches or what he needed from a resource standpoint. And then he comes back and have a undefeated season, regular season this year. So, just a lot of respect for Chennis Berry, a lot of respect for Benedict College. I sit on the RAC committee. Those guys get all those votes as number 1 seed, top seed in our RAC Regional 2 rankings, and then they come here and go undefeated. It's tough to go undefeated, but that tells me they're doing a lot of good things, and they got a great ball club. Offensively, defensively, special team, you name it, they got a great ball club, and and that's what you want. This is a championship game. You want the best of the best. I've been a part of it as a collegiate player, winning 3 consecutive national championships in the road to Division II, and 5 out of 6 years at Tuskegee as a coordinator, we win the conference championship, and then my 10 years at Miles College, we played for 6 SIAC championships, and we win 4 of them. So I've been a part of a lot of championships. Let me tell you, the best team is going to win that day, and we got our work cut out for us because it's Benedict College, and you see what they have done. They are a great ball club, and they're going to make a lot of noise in the playoffs also.
Coach, what are the 3 things that you're going to need to do in order to win on Saturday?
Well, I think the quarterback for Benedict, he needs to get the flu today. Need about 12 of them to have COVID, or they're not going to play. No, seriously, for us, it's all about doing what we have done all year. We have to protect the football. number one. I think Benedict does a great job creating turnovers. We got to keep the offense off the field, so we need to run the clock, run that ball as much as we can. And I always say that if we don't give the ball away, turn the ball over, and we create turnovers, we don't give up big plays, we make big plays, I think we have a chance to win that game. But if that doesn't happen, and we turn the ball over and we give up big plays, it's going to be a long night for Tuskegee University.
All right, give it over to Torian. Torian, when you look at Benedict's defense, what do you see and what do you have to do in order to overcome such a vaunted defense?
When I look at Benedict's defense, I see they have a very strong defensive line, and we just have to dominate the line of scrimmage from play 1 to play 9.
All right, give it over to Dante. Dante, you've been in these games before, time and time again. Is it the same thing, or every time do you play, is it something new?
I feel like it's the same thing, mentally. Like just going out there and staying focused.
All right, give it over to Coach. Coach, one last question. You became athletic director and head coach at Tuskegee, and then about a few months later, you decided to say this would be your last season. Could you have drawn this up any other way, or was this the way that you planned it?
Well, I think everybody sees my social media page when I first said that. I said I wasn't going to take many butt whippings my last ride. So I've been on point by saying that. So, but for me, being in an administrative role, being in our conference, what we have as an AD group, I just felt like it was time for me. I've been doing this since 1998, and been very successful doing it. And for me to pass the torch to Coach Aaron James, our offensive coordinator, to take over. He's Tuskegee all-time winning quarterback, and he's a Tuskegee grad, and he's our current offensive coordinator. And he's been with me and done a great job. And so what I've done at Tuskegee now with the new upgrades, the new facilities, the locker room, the turf, the tennis court, the basketball locker rooms, and baseball, softball, and everybody's getting this upgrade or getting in position to have the resources that we need, fundraising. And so I feel like I can do more as an administrator than I can do more being a coach and an administrator, because this kind of wears on you, wears down on you. And I was blessed with my last job, having some great people around me, such as Fred Watson and those guys. He's Benedict college grad, and it was great for me. But at Tuskegee, I have the same team. Have a team. It takes a team to make everything flourish. So I'm just going to be the athletic director, man, raise a lot of money and kind of keep these students and give them the best experience that they can possibly have in 4 years, because we always talk about we educate, we dominate, we graduate. That's always been our motto.
All right. Thank you so very much, Coach. We'll have one-on-ones after we finish up with the press conference for all the members of the media, okay? All right. Thanks, Coach, and thank you, players.
Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop.
And we're happy to be joined now by the undefeated Benedict College quarterback Eric Phoenix and defensive lineman Lubit Denales. All right. Grab the microphone, Coach Barry. Yes, sir. Think you're on. Press it one more time. Let's see.
It's on.
You're on.
Let's do it.
All right. Coach Barry, first of all, when you started this journey, we had COVID and it was a pause. Then you fought 5-5. Then your team starts with a few wins and you go up against Lane and it's 0-0 at halftime. What changed about your team from that point on?
Well, first give honor to God. I'm just glad to be here today, have an opportunity to be playing in this game. Thank you, Coach Washington, for the opportunity, for all that you do. And thank you to my players, man. I always got to get kudos to my players, because without them, there's no me. So first and foremost, as we went through the journey that we go through, and in our program, all we talk about is the journey. We just fall in love with just being the best we can be every day and just trying to win the day. And when you're talking about halftime of the Lane game, I mean, just believing. It was some adverse situations we went through in that game. I mean, you're talking about a game we shouldn't have played because of the conditions of that game. But ultimately, at the end of the day, our guys were hungry. They believed. And when these guys have been 100% bought in through the whole process. If you go date back to the, when I was first hired in February 2020, a month later, campus shuts down. We go home. We don't really get a chance to get to know our team and get everybody to understand and buy into the belief. But, we started the Zoom. We all got welcomed to the world of Zoom. We started having those Zoom meetings and getting to know each other and building a relationship. And we were the first team that stepped out and had 100% of our team vaccinated. Because as the head coach, I believe in leading from the front. And then I went out and got vaccinated first, then my staff started getting vaccinated, and all of us, whole entire team became vaccinated because I had to get them to believe and just give them facts and give them history. But, more than anything, guys just believing, man. Guys just loving our program, believing in it on the field, off the field. One of our philosophies is we believe in chasing A's, B's, C's, and D's. And A's and B's in the classroom. That's non-negotiable. We want guys that love being students. All right, first and foremost, C's are championships. We'll get an opportunity to compete for Benedict's first ever championship in football, and then degrees. The game of football will end one day, and I always teach these young men, you got to get ready for this game we call life. Because one day they're going to be fathers, they're going to be husbands, they're going to be leaders in the community. So it's bigger than football for me. I want to develop the total man. We bring God in our young man's life, and we're not ashamed of it. We put God first in all we do. And like I say, as the head coach, I have to lead from the front. I have a team of about 12 of my players, each position. We have a leadership council. We meet weekly, and they voice what they want in the team and what the pulse of the team, each position. What's the pulse of the team? How's the team feeling? How's the team? Is there somebody in the position that's not bought in? We talk about it every week, and I want them to be transparent because ultimately in our program, we're about family as well. And our family acronym, just like most places, is forget about me, I love you. Remove yourself from it all right, and focus on falling in love with the process every day of becoming great. And our young men have 100% bought into that.
All right, you can pass it over to Mr. Phoenix. Eric Phoenix, seems like everybody's been chasing you the entire season and they can't catch you. What transformed about this team? You guys were scoreless in the halftime of that Lane game, and since then it seems as though you've been able to offensively outwit everybody else on the field. What changed?
We just remember to work hard and keep grinding because we got a good team, good offense, explosive offense. We just had to stay healthy and just execute. Because once we execute, ain't nobody going to stop us. Just can't beat ourselves.
All right, get it over to Mr. Denales. Mr. Denales, your defense is rather unique because you guys get a sack every game. It's very rare that a team can say that. What has been the secret to success getting to the quarterback?
The secret to success really has been buying into the coach's game plan. We believe the coaches are going to use our strengths to the best of our ability and are going to put us in the right position to make plays. And having great teammates around you and having great camaraderie, it helps you to be able to go hard. And a lot of sacks just come from effort plays, and that's one of the big keys in this program is having great effort.
All right, give it over to Coach Berry. Coach Berry, when you look at Tuskegee on film, what do you see?
First of all, you got to get kudos. I've been in this conference. I talk about it all the time. I've been in this conference for the last I started in 1991 as a player at Savannah State College at the time. And Tuskegee, that's 31 years ago. So Tuskegee has been a dominant program for years. I mean, this hasn't just started, So ultimately, at the end of the day, they have a tradition, first and foremost. And the atmosphere down there is electric, all right? And then they have a winning pedigree head football coach. I respect Reginald Ruffin thoroughly. He's going to have his football team ready to play, and ultimately at the end of the day, we have to get ready to play our best football, and I don't hide from it. We really hadn't played our best football yet. Ultimately at the end of the day, we've had spurts where we've been really good on offense or really good on defense and really good on special teams, but to be able to put all three phases together, I think we have a chance to be something special, but everybody's got to buy into the process. But when you look at Tuskegee overall, just to answer that question, you're talking about a powerhouse program, and this has been going on for a long time. This hadn't just started. So, you know, Coach Ruffin has just done a good job of coming in year one and really rekindling the powerhouse program that they've had for so many years.
All right, Mr. Phoenix, when you look at Tuskegee's defense, what do you see and what problems do they present for you?
You know, they play with a lot of effort, a lot of energy. You know, you can't take no plays off because anything can happen. It's college football. You just got to stick to our roots and just do what we do, play ball.
All right, Mr. Donales. They have two running backs that came today, so I think they sent in a message that they may be running the football. What do you see when you look at their offense?
When we're looking at the offense, it's very evident that they have a very strong run game, two different running backs with two different play styles, and we just have to do a good job of playing gaps down defense in order to contain them, because, like I said, they're two different running backs, two different play styles, so they each have their own strengths, so it's just about playing gaps out defense and keeping them contained.
All right, Coach Barry, your journey here, you're sort of like Kane from Kung Fu. You were the last one sitting in the rain, and they said, well, nobody else is here. We're going to pick you. Your journey, and you start winning, and people start looking around, and they're pointing at the AD. Well, he's the one that's winning. They're pointing at the players. He's that one. Nobody's pointing at Coach Barry. But you've been able to find and crack a code that a lot of coaches were unable to crack. How has this season solidified your theories and your process? Because when you start as a first-year head coach, sometimes you may have doubt that this process may not work. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to connect with the team, with the people, with the community, but it seems as though each time you've been able to crack the code. What's been the secret?
First and foremost, I'm just grateful for the opportunity that somebody gave me a chance. You know, I'm going to always stand on the roots and the ground of what I'm built on, and that's discipline. Everything in our program is about discipline. For every action in life, there's a reaction. So if you come through our building, we have all kind of acronyms and sayings on the wall, but one of the things I stand wholeheartedly on, whether I'm at Benedict or wherever the good Lord tells me to be, it's going to be about discipline. And dig deep is where we drive everything from. And when you talk about dig deep as a man, it's not just even about the game of football, it's about life. Adversity is going to strike as a man. And as a man, when adversity strikes, you got to find it from the pit of your soul to dig deep. And in the game of football, you're not going to always be up. Sometimes you're going to be down. And when we came up with the acronym dig deep, that first D is discipline. Discipline. It's real simple. Do right. None of our players were raised by wolves. All of them had mom, dad, grandma, auntie, uncle, cousin, somebody to raise them. And we want to make sure that they do the right thing on and off the field. The next one is integrity. Integrity is real for us. That's your character. Who are you when no one is watching? And then the next G is God. We put God first in all we do. And I mean, I'm not ashamed of it. We put God first in all we do and everything in our program. And the next D is dedication. You got to be dedicated to do this. It's hard to be a student athlete. You know, we practice every morning. We got our team meetings at 6 a.m. All right, we start with team meeting. We come in the meeting. We listen to gospel in the morning. We don't listen to Lil Baby, Lil Wayne, and all that. We come in. We listen to Mississippi Mass Choir. We in there getting their spirit right when they come into the meeting. That's the very first thing they hear when they come in. So as they come in, I'm in the front of the room praising God. And right at 6 o'clock, we start our meeting. I call the roll from each position. Once we hit the position meeting, make sure everybody good to go. I talk about what's the mission for the day. They know what the mission is for the day. I go over the practice schedule. Then we start our special teams. We do special teams every day. We might practice special teams more than anybody in the country. We do special teams every single day. All right, so we got to be dedicated. You got to do that. You got to go to practice. You got to go to study hall. You got to go to meetings. You got to go to weight room. Then you got to go to class. You got to do that every day. So you got to be dedicated. All right. Next is effort. Effort. I'm going to give you all I got as the head football coach every day. All I asked him to win the effort battle, dominate the effort battle. A football play lasts about 6 to 7 seconds. Give me the greatest effort you can give me. And then execution. We all got a plan. We all want things in life, but ultimately at the end of the day, you can draw it on the board. It looks good, but at the end of the day, you got to go execute it. And then last but not least is P, pride. You got to have pride in who you are as a man first. All right, your last name as a man, you carry your daddy's last name. So you got to have pride in the man first, all right? And then second of all, you got to have pride in the university in the college that you represent. So we're grateful that the young men have bought into this process of digging deep. When adversity strikes, good, bad, or ugly, if you follow those core values, those are the core values of our program, we feel like that ultimately at the end of the day, not only we can win in the game of football, but we can win in the game we call life.
Thank you, Coach. We got 2 more questions for you. Coach, first of all, playing at home. I think that sometimes a lot of people, when they came to Benedict, they said it was a great facility, but it only filled up during homecoming. And you were able to fill the stadium for the entire season. How important is it to play this game at home?
Well, it's a blessing. You know, back in January when we started lifting and training, we came up with another hashtag, and I got all kind of hashtags, but we came up with one, and nobody probably knew what in the world it was when we kept posting it on social media. It was a hashtag. It was hashtag 111222. Well, we knew that this year the East team got a chance to, whoever won the East would get a chance to represent and be the home team. So 111222 is, guess what? Tomorrow, November the 12th, 2022. And we said that, we put that into existence back in January. But nobody knew what it was. But when training camp started, the very first day of training camp, I squashed it. I said, no more 111222, because right now we got to fall in love with the process. We got to fall in love with the journey. We're not going to worry about the end goal. We're going to begin with the end in mind, but ultimately at the end of the day, we're going to worry about let's win the day and be the best we can be today. So ultimately, man, you know, to answer your question, man, we're so grateful to be able to be in what we have labeled the jungle, Charlie Johnson Stadium, right at home, a place where we practice every day. That's our home. And to be able to look up and see purple and gold in those stands tomorrow will mean the world to our program and mean the world to our players, and get a chance for the first time in the history of Benedict College to be able to represent and have the championship game right here in our backyard. So we're grateful.
Final question, what will be the key ingredients for you guys to hoist up that championship trophy?
It doesn't change for us. Week in and week out. You come into our team meeting room, first thing you're going to see is win the effort battle, win the penalty battle, win the turnover battle, and win the explosive play battle. If we feel like every week, if we can win those 4 battles, we have a chance to win a football game. So that will never change. Win the effort battle, win the turnover battle, win the penalty battle, win the explosive battle. We feel like we have a chance to win the football game.
All right. Thank you so very much, Coach. Thank you so very much, players. Members of the media, if you need to get one-on-ones, we have that time at this present time. Thank you so very much.
Go Tigers.
Course lecture dismissed.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's like a loop machine.